Here we go. My 14 most anticipated horror movies for 2023 in order are: Number 1, Megan, released on January 6th and is out now. James Wan and Blumhouse do it again. The female Chucky AI comes to life.
I'm Megan.
If we ever want to see a team-up of the most iconic evil doll of Chucky with Megan, well, I'm all for it. A robotics engineer at a toy company builds a lifelike doll that begins to take on a life of its own. Rated PG-13 and an estimated budget of $12 million. Directed by Gerard Johnstone, story by Keela Cooper and James Wan. Number 2, The Devil Conspiracy, releasing January 13th in theaters only, out now. Samuel Goldwyn Films is hanging in there with his heavily angelic concept horror adventure. The War of Angels, where Michael defeated Lucifer and bound him in hell, is the main premise. Rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 51 minutes. A cult of Satanists steals the Shroud of Turin, putting them in possession of Jesus' DNA, where the clone will serve as the ultimate offering to the devil. And it's up to a priest who was left for dead to put the fear of God in those who would bring the devil back to earth, with the spirit of the Archangel Michael in him to end the devil's conspiracy. The Devil Conspiracy is perhaps the best movie made about biotech devil worshippers trying to clone Jesus. Starring Peter Mensah as the Archangel Michael, better known for his role as the Persian messenger in 300, who first got kicked into the never-ending hole, also for Jason X, Avatar, and Spartacus. Directed by Nathan Frankowski. Number 3, Skinamarink, releasing January 13th and out now. A Shudder original film in theaters, scheduled for release on the Shudder channel later in the year. They had a budget roughly of $15,000 with a small 4-person cast. 2 children wake up in the middle of the night to find their father is missing, and all the windows and doors in their home have vanished. Due to a glitch on one of the online film festival screenings, the movie was downloadable and spread like crazy, causing it to go viral on many social media sites, such as TikTok and YouTube, ahead of its official release. Directed and written by Kyle Edward Ball. Number 4, There's Something Wrong with the Children, releasing January 17th on digital and on demand from Paramount and MGM Studios, giving you the Stephen King Tommyknockers vibe. Could be aliens due to the green overlay of color in the title and also the sinister green flash in the eyes, but we'll see. A family takes a weekend trip with longtime friends and their 2 children, but they suspect something supernatural when the kids behave strangely after disappearing into the woods overnight. Directed by Roxanne Benjamin. Number 5, Infinity Pool, releasing January 27th. Presented by Neon and Topic Studios, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 57 minutes. The premise is James and M. Foster are enjoying an all-inclusive beach vacation in the fictional island of La Toca when a fatal accident exposes the resort's perverse subculture of hedonistic tourism, reckless violence, and surreal horrors. Starring Alexander Skarsgård. Yes, this Swedish hotness can be Eric the Vampire from True Blood to the Northman, or swinging into action as a perfectly cast Tarzan. He's a newcomer to horror. The Skarsgård family, like his dad Stellan and brother Bill, is ruling Hollywood. Cleopatra Coleman, Thomas Kretschmann, and Mia Goth, directed by Brandon Cronenberg, round out the cast. Number 6, Knock at the Cabin, releasing February 2nd. M. Night Shyamalan based his new movie on the best-selling 2018 book, The Cabin at the End of the World, by Paul Tremblay. Rated R, screenplay and directed by M. Night himself. While vacationing, a girl and her parents are taken hostage by armed strangers who demand that the family make a choice to avert the apocalypse. Starring Dave Bautista, Rupert Grint, Jonathan Groff, Nikki Anuka Bird, William Ragsdale, and Kristen Cooey. Save your family or save humanity. Make the choice. Number 7, Scream 6, coming out March 10th. In the next installment, the survivors of the Ghostface killings leave Woodsboro behind and start a fresh chapter in New York City. With an estimated budget of $35 million, Courtney Cox was the first to sign on to come back as Gail Weathers from the original franchise in 1996. Jenna Ortega, yes, Wednesday, Netflix, Mason Gooding, Melissa Barrera, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Hayden Panettiere, Dermot McRoney, and Henry Sersney round out the cast. Number 8, Renfield, expected to release April 14th. starring Nicolas Cage, Nicholas Hoult, and Awkwafina by Universal Studios. This Dracula story comes with a twist from Bram's day. Director Chris McKay filmed on location in Louisiana. The premise: R.M. Renfield, played by Nicholas Hoult, decides to leave his centuries-long line of work as a henchman and a familiar to Count Dracula, played by Nicolas Cage, and finds a new lease on life in modern-day New Orleans when he falls in love with a feisty but perennially aggressive traffic cop named Rebecca Quincy, played by Awkwafina. Nicolas Cage goes all in 100%, and I love it. He said his love for Christopher Lee is the reason he makes horror movies. Lee is considered one of the best actors to portray Dracula on screen. A pretty big pedestal, but quoting the movie, some call me the Dark One, others the Lord of Death, to most, I am Dracula. Number 9, Evil Dead Rise. Slated to release April 21st. Directed and written by Lee Cronin with the screenplay by Sam Raimi, the originator of the franchise movie series. He helms this new continuation. With a runtime of 2 hours, rated R, and a budget estimated at $12 million. Starring Alyssa Sutherland, the Australian model known as Princess Aslog in the hit series Vikings, and a clacker from The Devil Wears Prada, Lily Sullivan, Morgan Davies, and Nell Fisher. Moving the action out of the woods and into the city, Evil Dead Rise tells a twisted tale of 2 estranged sisters, played by Sutherland and Sullivan, whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of a family imaginable. Number 10, Beau Is Afraid. Expected to release April 23rd. Another A24 Ari Aster film winner who gave us Hereditary and Midsummer, rated R, a decades-spanning portrait of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time. Beau Is Afraid reportedly cost $60 million to produce, making it A24's biggest production to date. Described by Ari Aster as a zonky nightmare comedy. Starring Joaquin Phoenix, Parker Posey, Amy Ryan, Kylie Rogers, Richard Kind, Nathan Lane, Michael Gandolfini, and Armin Nahapetian. Number 11, Insidious 5, or is it Insidious 5 The Dark Realm, or Insidious 5 Fear the Dark? Either way, it's releasing July 7th. It's gone through some name changes, but before settling down on the simplicity of just Insidious 5. Synopsis is 5 years after Insidious, The Last Key in 2018, directed by the main actor Patrick Wilson, written by Lee Whannell. You get the entire original family cast as well. The Lamberts 10 years after the last installment as Dalton begins college. Although it's sandwiched between the heels of a June 30th release of Indiana Jones and a July 14th release of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 with Tom Cruise, this summer blockbuster battle stakes are high. Stars Ty Simpkins, Rose Byrne, and Patrick Wilson. Number 12, The Last Voyage of the Demeter, expected to launch in theaters August 11th. Also from Universal Studios, based on a single chapter, The Captain's Log, from Bram Stoker's classic 1897 novel Dracula. The story is set aboard the Russian schooner Demeter, which was chartered to carry private cargo, 24 unmarked wooden crates from Carpathia to London. The film will detail the strange events that befell the doomed crew as they attempt to survive the ocean voyage, stalked each night by terrifying presence on board the ship. When it finally arrived near Whitby Harbor, it was a derelict. There was no trace of the crew. Directed by Andre Avriol, stars David Dastmalchian, who was recently seen in Dune as Peter de Vries, The Suicide Squad as Polka Dot Man, and Kurt and Ant-Man, Game of Thrones' very own Sir Davos Seaworth, Liam Cunningham, Straight Outta Compton's Corey Hawkins, also seen in King Kong Skull Island and Black Klansman, John Briones, and Aisling Franciosi. 13. The Exorcist, expected October 13th. This Blumhouse reboot is also coming out of the Universal Studios realm of monsters, is a sequel to the 1973 film about a 12-year-old girl who was possessed by a mysterious demonic entity, forcing her mother to seek the help of 2 priests to save her. No trailer has been released yet, but we do know Leslie Odom Jr., which we just saw on Netflix's The Glass Onion, and one of the stars of the musical Hamilton as Raymond Burr, stars with Ellen Burstyn, Ann Dowd, and directed by David Gordon Green. 14. Maxine. There's no official release date, so it could be 2023, it could be 2024. However, Mia Goth is back again after filming X by Ty West and Pearl, which is the origin story of sorts. Maxine is the third part of the X trilogy after X in 2022 and Pearl in 2022 as well. Follows Maxine, who was the only survivor of the bloody incidents of X, as she continues her journey towards fame to be an actress in 1980s Los Angeles. The obvious Betamax looking video teaser trailer with all of its Gem and the Holograms color glory gives us a look into what we could expect from the excess of the 80s, a decade known for its horror and synthesizers. Thanks so much for watching. Comment down below and let me know which movie that you're anticipating to watch in theaters this year.